Hello DOTA2 fans and welcome back. This game is CEVO Season 6 between Skadi Doesn't Know and Together We Did It. That's right, all of these acronyms. I'm starting to get the hang of them, but it might take me a little bit every now and then. We're good to go though. This is CEVO Week 1-2, Day 1 for the Season 6. And, well, without further ado, let's bring you guys into this game. We got our joined tonight by our lovely and talented statsman at Cart Dota. We'll start seeing a little bit of him in just a second. But I will be your solo caster, your solo host for the time being. I'm checking around, seeing if people will come online. But for right now, it looks like we're going to venture out in this one together. So, we got Razor banned out first, Brewmaster and Death Prophet being taken out by Skadi Doesn't Know. Some pretty standard stuff. Again, an interesting point was brought up by Helium the other day where teams are just going to go ahead and ban out these common strategies so they don't get cheese pushed down earlier on into these games because they're best of ones. You can't adapt to your enemy like you can in a best of 2 or a best of 3. So it's all really hanging in the balance with this one game. Winning it gives you a win, losing it gives you a loss. So we'll have to see which one can come out on top together. We did go for the first pick, Jakira, a strong support. Maybe we see Avenge come out pretty soon, but Skadi Doesn't Know. We'll grab the Elder Titan. And I mentioned the Venge. Ogre Magi is still in the pool. Tidehunter, of course, gets taken out, but that was at the cost of leaving the Elder in. Skadi Doesn't Know going to be very happy to have that hero on their pool. Faceless Void has also made it through, so we might see him. Razor getting first banned out means that we won't be seeing the Lightning this game. I think I had Static on the last game. That was a 6 o'clock game, and it was interesting how he mentioned that Razor no longer a first pick, first ban. I think, was it Razor or Death Prophet that he mentioned that? And, I mean, it does happen this game, but I tend to agree how they have kind of been thought about, been theory crafted against more in the recent couple of weeks, and don't see a lot more action because of that. We start seeing fresher heroes come onto play, and, well, adding to the list of heroes that we still have yet to see, the Skywrath Mage is there, but Jakiro's on the board, which does give them a lot of crowd control as it stands there, giving a lot of time and thought into this second pick because Elder Titan's really hard to pick into. You can't really pick up the, they're going to go the twin-headed strat and pick up the Ogre Magi, but you have to be careful picking up these agi carries, these common carries, because really they have little to no armor in the late game since they get most of their armor and HP from stats. So a lot of carries, some that come to mind would be the Phantom Assassin, Medusa, Anti-Mage. All these carries just get completely thrown out the door by their Titan. He does get picked up a lot in conjunction with the Phantom Assassin, so we might start to see her come into play just a little bit. But we'll have to wait and see. Skadi Doesn't Know, waiting on their second pick. Pretty long draft so far. Both teams going into reserve time. Together We Did It, ducking pretty far into their reserve time. So we'll have to see if they're looking to try to pick something up to counter the Ogre Jakira. I mean, that isn't exactly something that you can do. Both of them support-based heroes, though. Both can also play as a core role. Jakiro more so than the Ogre, but it's kind of difficult to try to pick against this because, one, you don't know if the Jakiro is going to be playing in the support or if he's going to be going off lane, and they're going to go ahead and drop the Ember Spirit. So giving themselves a little bit of late game, maybe some magic damage protection from the Jack and the Ogre, but ultimately he's not going to have too much fun in this game if he doesn't completely snowball out of control, which really goes without saying for any hero. But there's a lot of lockdown coming from Together We Did It, a lot of ability to just close the gap on Ember and make sure he can't just remnant away or try to sleight of fist out of anything. So it's going to be difficult for the Ember, but if they can draft around him, the Ember and Elder Titan will have a lot of damage in the late game with a couple of crits, a couple of Battle Furies, and so on and so forth. So
Dyer's ban.
We have the Storm Spirit getting banned out by Skadi, natural Orchid carrier, so makes sense. Doom also going. This does go back to the Death Prophet, too. All of these silences getting taken off the field. Rubik gone from Together We Did It. They don't want to allow. They don't want these two really good crowd controlling heroes to have their spells stunned or stolen. And well, we'll see what they go ahead and ban out next. But I would imagine some straight up damage dealing hero would be their next option. They're gonna instead go for the Centaur. They go for that hard lockdown and pick up a Skywrath Mage almost immediately thereafter, giving themselves a lot more magic damage to work with, a nice silence to stop the Ember Spirit, and a lot of early to mid game to help them out versus this Elder Ember, which is going to hope to take it to the late game. They want to try to put an end to that and stop that from happening. So Skadi are going to have to figure out a way to deal with this, and Omni Knight's still in the pool, which could work out in their favor, giving Ember Spirit a little bit of room to work with these silences, but instead they're going to go for the Vengeful Spirit, give some extra positioning prowess. Avenge, definitely great for that, but also good for the minus armor, which in conjunction with the Natural Order will be absolutely disgusting. That's to say if they can get it off successfully, but Skywrath is a very squishy hero, so I wouldn't doubt it. So they still have option to get themselves a 1 position if they run this Ember Spirit mid, which I would imagine 9 times out of 10 they will. And again, I have to go back to the PA being a possibility. Definitely doesn't do too well with these stuns, but getting a BKB is really effective. Even the PA Omni would work out all right in this team lineup right now, but there might be some better options. We'll see what they decide to explore. Together We Did It, looking for their 4th pick, ducking heavily into their reserve time right now. 30 seconds left on that, so they're going to have to be very careful. And they're going to grab the Faceless Void, kind of given away by this Skywrath pick, but also, I mean, the two don't always go together. It's one of the more potent combos, but not always picked. So we do have that Faceless Void coming out, giving them some extra damage. Actually, it should have been really obvious with the Jakiro pickup. Both Jakiro and Skywrath Mage benefit greatly from being able to drop their ultimate on a stationary hero. And even Ember Spirit's Flame Guard won't be able to keep him active through that. So
5 seconds.
That'll be a very potent combo if they get it. I imagine we'll be seeing the Faceless Void go for the Refresher's Orb to give them even more potency. But that all depends on if they can get that far. Faceless Void, probably going to be playing in the safe lane. They got this Jakiro already for the off lane. And Sky doesn't know will go the Phantom Assassin direction, giving them some extra damage in team fight. A lot of physical DPS coming out with a lot of minus armor. PA also doesn't do poorly against the Faceless Void, obviously, dodging a lot of attacks in the Chronosphere, missing a lot in return, but I don't think she worries too much about it, as she's probably going to be going after the Skywrath Mage more so than not in this game. And again, with all this minus armor, the Skywrath is probably going to drop 1 to 2 hits max.
Reserve time.
Unless we get him lucky with crits, but Skadi doesn't know. With their 4th pickup, we're going to Together We Did It's last ban, and it's going to be a Clockwork. I don't
Radiance
see.
ban.
Maybe the Clockwork go. Yeah, the Clockwork actually does go pretty well here, giving them some extra initiation, some actual initiation rather. Venge, not the hero that you want to be using for the most part for those initiations, but Clock also gives them plenty of potential to pick off, and they don't want to deal with that. So Sky doesn't know, going for their final ban.
5 seconds.
It looks like they might be banning a mid laner. And they will. They get rid of the Viper, just an all-around annoying hero to deal with, and no surprise that they got the short end of the stick there. So just to give a little bit of background to this game, I can go ahead and see if I can check. Oh, I closed a tab. See, this is why you don't give me a mic after work. I forget things, so see if I can open up the tab before anything important happens.
10 seconds to go.
Take a look.
5 seconds.
My page is in Spanish. All right. Already off to a good start for some reason.
Reserve time.
So let's take a look. The standings right now for both of these teams. If I remember correctly, I think both are 0-1.
10
but
seconds
again,
to
I could be very wrong. But now that we've got it, finally loads.
5 seconds.
Together we did it. Actually haven't played yet, so this is their first game. But Skadi doesn't know is 0-1, so they're looking to grab themselves the first win. Together we did it though, hoping to start their CEVO Season 6 out strong, and they're going to do so with the Invoker pick coming out. So they're going to be running that one. Along with all this other crowd control, they've got one nasty team fight. Plenty of setup for the Chronos here, plenty of damage after the Chrono is dropped. And overall, just very scary to deal with. So
10 seconds to go.
Skadi doesn't know, are looking for their last pick. And
5 seconds.
I would have to say, I don't think the Elder will be running the off lane, so we're probably going to be seeing that either 3 position role coming out or 2, depending on what the mid and safe lane do. But our solo laner will end up being, I don't know. Well, if they want to run the Elder Titan in the off lane, they can still pick up an Earthshaker, which would go fairly well with a Vengeful Spirit. And I'm actually surprised Earthshaker hasn't been either picked or banned right now. He is an incredibly strong hero and still maintains that prowess of being a hero that you don't typically like to deal with. But I'm just trying to think of other heroes that would go fairly well. They could go a minus armor direction and pick up someone along those lines. But I don't know. We'll have to see. And they go for the Brood, which, interesting to say the very least. It's going to be difficult with all this AoE damage coming out, and he has to be careful not to feed his spiderlings, but I could see it working. Well, we'll have to see as our players start to form into their heroes, and, well, we're back into the game. So this is the second game of the night. First game for Together We Did It of the season. Speaking of, we've got, it's very oh, god damn, what's his name? It's very Kafkaesque. It's very Kafkaesque. Okay, he's going to be on the Faceless Void. Taku, that's better on the Jakiro. KGB on the Ogre Magi. Noobs Are Us on the Invoker. And Snoopy on the Skywrath Mage. Meanwhile, we've got Illist, the head up of the lineup for Skadi. We did it. He's going to be on the Elder Titan. Korean Barbecue on the Phantom Assassin. Era, he will be on the Vengeful Spirit. Elan on the Ember Spirit. And finally, we've got Jeeves, the crashed hero, on the Brood Mother. And I think this is a new feature that Valve implemented, where we had the Brood Mother pickers getting immediately disconnected from the game. Seems very fitting for this hero, but obviously that's actually not the case. Don't take my word on that one. As we start out with a pause, take a quick look at what both teams are planning to do. We've got an offensive tri-lane growing on the side of Together We Did It. It's going to be KGB, Snoopy, and Kafkaesque. They will all be just looking to go against this offensive tri-lane, or defensive, from Skadi We Did It, and coming out on top. And really, their tri-lane is a lot better in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. But Skadi We Did It, if they don't give up kills and if they kind of chill around, grab some XP, and just do the bare minimum, they will progress a lot quicker. Just based on the fact that they do have some semi-lockdown, but they've got a ton of damage coming out. The lockdown still will remain superior on the side of Together We Did It, and it all will really come down to execution in this lane. So it's going to be an off lane. We guessed it, the off lane Jakiro. Taku, happy to play the twin-headed dragon. And our mid matchup for the day is Invoker versus Ember Spirit. So pretty standard. I'd like to say that Ember Spirit would win this matchup hands down. But that's mostly because Ember can be much more aggressive in the first couple of levels. However, depending on how Invoker builds, he can have plenty of defensive lockdown to keep that from happening. Going Cross Exort if he goes Cold Snap and Forge Spirits, plenty of lockdown there. Or if he goes Cross Wex, he can grab a Tornado into EMP and shut down the Ember Spirit that way. So we'll have to see where that lane progresses. But in the meantime, KGB and Snoopy walking over an Observer Ward. They get spotted out. Illist will be there to greet them. Won't actually trade hits because he knows that Snoopy's right there. The ward directly seeing him, got their eyes locked, and, well, they'll just play it passive for now. They don't want to get themselves in a bad position. They may have been able to rotate and try to get some damage onto Snoopy, but again, it's very risky. Instead, they're going to look for the low-hanging fruit onto KGB, drop down the Astral Spirit onto him, but still only hit him for a small amount. They didn't really commit anything to that except for the Astral and maybe a couple of daggers, so they're not too worried about that one, but they are pushing the lane quite heavily, and that might come back to bite them later on. Jeeves, meanwhile, going up against Taku. I like Jakiru in this matchup because you don't really have to worry about the spiders, and you can slow down the Broodmother at any point in the lane to keep yourself alive and healthy. So he should really have no trouble in this lane, at least not that I can see. It does, again, come down to execution for them, and whichever one executes a little better will be able to be the one to win that lane hands down. It is a very neutral matchup right there. So Ember breaking ahead of the pack on the last hits, as he should. Better base damage, though Noobs R Us will progress a lot faster in that department, depending on, again, what he skills. He's got level 3, 2 points in Quas, 1 in Invoke. Rather surprising. He's just going for a pure full-on Cold Snap build right now, as we see Taku taking a lot of damage from these Spiderlings, but the Dual Breath hitting them for a pretty good chunk, though. With more coming his way, he will have to back himself off, and the damage not quite there yet. If he stays and gets some XP, it will start to become apparent, but at least at the moment, the harass coming out from Jeeves will be very, very good. He's got the Soul Ring up and running, so he should be able to spam the Spiderlings at any point in time. Well, at least when that Soul Ring is off cooldown. So looking around, still things are staying relatively passive. Neither tri-lane and making that much of an initiative on the other tri-lane. See a nice Ignite coming out, putting Era in immense pain, and this might actually amount to something. No, they're going to back themselves off. And again, just playing it careful. They don't want, no team wants to give up first blood right now because either one could snowball pretty well off of it. So we might start to see the supports from either side decide to come out and gank either mid laner. I think an early kill on either one would be really, really good. You don't want that Ember Spirit to get out of control with first CS. Blood, Invoker folks. dropping pretty low on the CS board, and the first blood will go the way of it's very Kafkaesque.
Only a matter of time.
And he'll find Era. What would I imagine? I can Ignite into a Flame Blast, just cleaning him up. That's a very surprising first blood, but just as I say, they're playing relatively passive. They prove me wrong, and they grab themselves a nice bit of gold, and that goes the way of the enemy one position. So this Void looking pretty good, 900 gold. We'll be able to buy his treads fairly soon and go from there. Elon taking some Cold Snap damage, but that's all that it is some chip damage. Tries to go for the the Searing Chains and will not be able to connect it. 2 creeps will absorb that blow, and Invoker will get himself away, just taking some chip damage himself. Jeeves will be under a constant vision of Sentry Wars. Improperly dewarded them, so he doesn't know where the vision is and can't really deal with it at the moment. As Taku is just kind of playing him with right now, lighting him on fire whenever he gets the chance. And Dual Breath plus Liquid Fire are 2 really good damage over time spells. And yeah, he sees everything. However, this could be trouble for him. As in comes Jeeves, puts down the web here, and Taku, he's got to turn around and do something. He will turn around, put down the Macro Pyre, and Jeeves is going to walk right in it. He actually will die to this. Oh, a very, very big misplay on his part, but in his defense, I don't think anyone thought that Taku would be able to turn it around like that, but just goes to show you, don't fight underneath the Macro Pyre. KGB now in a lot of trouble. Astral Spirit will come down, securing some extra damage. A Stomp to sleep. It's very Kafkaesque. And KGB should drop one more auto attack. It will actually be the Blink Strike from Snoopy. And now, Barbecue, sorry. And now Snoopy in a lot of trouble. Magic Missile flies. Illis taking some tower damage. Korean Barbecue going to have to back himself off. A very Kafkaesque is going to have to run away. They're looking for the Blink Strike. Instead, go for the Stifling Dagger. but no level 6 on this Phantom Assassin means they won't be able to get the lucky crit. Airage actually could end up dropping here. KGB chasing, but turns around with a Stifling Dagger. In comes Kafkas, secures a kill. Magic Missile will fly onto Kafkas going. Illist looking for some damage, but a concussive shot flies from Snoopy. KGB will drop to Korean Barbecue, but Illist will drop to its very Kafkas, and now Korean Barbecue will also drop using Magic Wand to keep himself alive. Blink strikes himself away, and Kim dodges out some of the auto attack damage from Snoopy, but it won't be enough. More kills. This fight's still going on. Era makes his way back down to the lane and looks to try to kill Kafkas, but won't be able to do so. Meanwhile, Taku will die again. And not Taku, sorry. Taku is the Jakiro. Instead, it will be Jeeves to die again in the off lane to the solo Jakiro. Snoopy now in a lot of trouble. Elon will hit him with Searing Chains. Only has 3 points of Flame Guard, but he won't be able to put it out now. Props his ult and does immense amounts of damage with it, but now he's got to put up his Flame Guard, and he won't do so. He actually will do so quick enough. Eraj will come in here just in time to protect his retreat, but nothing more, nothing less from this. In fact, Era actually going a little bit too deep as Kafkas makes his way in. Elon back in as well. Searing Chains will go down to Kafkas. Now there's a stomp to come out. Silence sleeping Noobs Arrest and Kafkas. A Magic Missile comes out onto the Void, but won't be able to go on it as a teleport comes in to keep him alive. Now Era on the run with his team, and no way to stop him as Tornado not invoked just yet. But Jeeves taking so much in this off lane, I think it's safe to say that there is very little he can do at this point. Taku level 9 with his next item coming out. Okay, just Sentry Wards and a healing style, but still going to look to progress his lead even further in this top lane. He is at the highest CS net worth, I imagine, close to actually the 4th in the CS net worth, as it's very the Kafkas will keep the top position. Though one of the lower on the CS, he's 3-0-1, giving him all of that room and gold. Though it's a very difficult place to be in this bottom lane, you got to constantly be under watch for this team to sneak up on its damage. Now, there is coup de grace on Phantom Assassin, so Korean Barbecue should be able to get some added crits off and do work with that. Taku gonna see a ton of Spiderlings and drop his Macro Power and all of them, Dual Breath as well, and they're just gonna all die to this. Like, oh, it's crazy how much gold he's gonna be getting from that. But Concussive Shot flies out in Era. They can't really chase on this one, and they won't. No, they will. Time Walk on top of him. Needs to turn around, drop a Magic Missile. He will die, but he still gets the stun off on Kafkas. Can turn around and an instant bash from Kafkas. Now Korean Barbecue in a lot of trouble. Has to turn and fight because there's no way he's running away from this one. Silence, and he just should die right now. Snoopy will grab himself a double kill. Top lane, Taku taking a lot of damage from Jeeves, but in comes Noobs Arrest. Jeeves is still chasing for this, but will dodge the Tornado. Now turns around, gets the Spiderlings off, and will grab a kill and gets himself away. Now Elon comes in for Noobs Arrest. Double damage, 1 swipe, 2 swipe. Red swipe, and, well, blue. Oh, that does work. Red swipe, blue swipe. He gets the kill. Double damage Ember Spirit.
Dyer's top tower.
Man, I love when things work out like that. Makes me look smart.
Can't do nothing about Dyer's structures right now.
Korean Barbecue in the bottom lane looking for KGB, but he does have Fire Blast. We'll pop it out. Only 1x because he actually does have multicast, but doesn't get lucky there. And tower will go down. Elon finding that kill. 1-0-1, 40 CS, and net worth overall topping the board with Jeeves coming back very quickly. The kill on Taku definitely helping there. So he's got plenty of Spiderlings in reserve looking to try to colonize the enemy jungle. He's back up by Era, so it looks like they want to try to kill Jeeves again, but he is relatively conservative by the creep wave, and he should be fine. There's an engagement on the bottom lane. They're going on Korean Barbecue, and they will secure the kill there. No Chronosphere pop for that one, so they get the free kill, no cooldown required. Tornado pops Elon into the air, but doesn't stop the D-Ward. Now Noobs Arrest hanging close to Illist and Elon, but they're going to go ahead and get the bottle up on Elon. Finds himself a bounty rune, and he should be able to find a kill as soon as he wants to. Meanwhile, top lane, no big deal, but Jeeves kills Taku again. So this game completely, or this lane, sorry, completely flipped 180. The kill score is still in favor of Together We Did It, but the golden XP grab starting to go reach northward as Elon losing all of his mana yet again. Does have a TP scroll and can ult his way back from the fountain to grab some extra mana and HP. So should he choose, but for now he'll hang pretty close by. Korean Barbecue diving onto its very calf guest. There are teleports, there are pings coming out, but nothing really to keep him alive. Snoopy is hanging close by, will maybe drop a concussive on the retreat, but won't even need it. So Kafkask will get himself away, and KGB and Snoopy will farm this lane up, trying to get some extra XP, but the teleport comes in from Era. They want to try to kill the support duo while they're weak. And Korean Barbecue, he's hanging close. He wants to be aggressive. Illist is waiting for the opportune moment, and now they go for the turnaround. Korean Barbecue, they will pop the Fire Blast, but no multicast. Finally, a multicast onto the Flame, or sorry, the Ignite, putting immense pain on Illist, Era, and Korean Barbecue. There will be an EMP dropping all of the mana out from nearly everyone. Korean, the only one with actual blue on his bar. And that will just be the disengage. So the Invoker stopping the action, but Jeeves in the meantime will go up towards Taku. Taku walking outside of the web, trying to do what he can. Macropyre will go down, and Jeeves hanging close by to it, taking a lot from that one. Spiderlings will drop into it. Now Taku will TP himself out, knows that he can't hang any closer. Chronosphere goes out into its very Kafkask, and Era will survive it. Magic Missile goes out to him. He has to get himself away, but he can't. One more auto attack, and it will be enough. Era actually taking that kill. And Korean Barbecue, concussive shot hits onto him. Elon now looking for the chase. Will find Snoopy, but they do have an Ancient Seal should they want to use it. They do use it, and Elon going to have to back himself off now as a gem gets picked up onto Taku to try to scout out Jeeves. Whew, that's a mouthful. All right, so take a look at the golden XP, hanging close to equilibrium, about 1,000 in gold, but about 0 in experience. The items, well, we'll start to take a look at an Orchid starting to come out from Invoker as Taku gives him the gem. Still pretty far away from it as a Tornado catches Jeeves out in the jungle. They do have gems, so he cannot get away from this one. The attack speed slow is all they got from the Liquid Fire, but it is a damage that keeps him from running away, and he will go down. Taku grabbing that kill, so once again taking a little bit of a 180 at the help of Noobs R Us. Speaking of Taku, with that gem returning onto him, he's got a Abassi, Tranquils, now he's got Bottle, and out to him is a Sage's Mask, so maybe looking for a Yule Scepter. Meanwhile, looking at the last three of Together We Did It. Kafkask sitting, looking for his Mask of Madness, not quite able to get it just yet. Snoopy, meanwhile, will drop to Elon. The Flame Guard enough to tick him. Actually, it's going to be Korean Barbecue to drop in for that kill. Elon with a double damage. Might look to chase further as it's very Kafkask dropping down, trying to find Korean Barbecue. Now, a Searing Chains will fly out. Elon in a lot of trouble. Might have to TP himself out, but cannot do so. He will go down. Korean Barbecue as well should drop. Actually, the blink out onto Era. He's still slow. Magic Missile flies on a new Burrus, and finally the Time Walk slow ends up stopping. Era now will end up paying for his sacrifice, but a sacrifice well taken as he makes his way trying to deny himself to Crease, but they're on the retreat back to their camp, and they won't be able to get those sweet last hits onto him. So going over these the last couple of items, Ogre Magi, Dust, Smoke, pretty standard for a support. And who, last but not least, Snoopy, looking at Urn of Shadows, so pretty good onto him. Jeeves, well, a Chronosphere and a Mystic Flare on top of him, he will certainly die. He's looking for that Orchid Malevolence, so I think a stat came up for him. But with Orchid and Soul Ring, he should have plenty of mana throughout the game, but he's looking mostly for the silence. Looking at the Ember Spirit, Phase, Drums. Now I think we'll start to see him build towards either the Crit or the Battle Fury. Elder Titan, Boots and TP, typical support, but he's got 800 gold on top of that. Venge, Era, Urn, and Boots, so looking like Snoopy. And finally, Korean Barbecue, 133 gold on top of a PMS and Power Treads. I don't see really any item progression coming out from him so far. He is 3, 3, and 2, so that explains a lot. Died a couple of times, so the kills really don't entirely matter for him. But the bottom tier 1 tower did end up dropping And that'll be the second tower of the game to go down. Both safe lane towers have dropped. And finally, the Mask of Madness will get picked up by Kafkask. And they look to try to rotate through the Radiant jungle. They want to try to find some kills. Maybe they'll find Korean Barbecue, but it's more likely Era steps a little bit out of position. Actually, it's most likely they won't find anyone, as Era and Alon are both in the cover of the Tier 1 tower. But I don't think it's going to even matter, as they are actually cutting them off right now. Right as they go for Noobs or Us. Can they find the kill here? It looks like they won't, and they're going to pay dearly for this, as Era goes down nearly immediately. Illis in the way. He will drop a stomp, trying to TP out, but they got plenty of stun for him, and they will go ahead and cancel that. 2 down, and a very poor initiation, but at the same time, very risky initiation. Taku gets away at very low HP. G's will get hit by a Fire Blast. Now support comes in. He cannot run both Dust and Concussive Shot, moving at the speed of a snail, and he'll go down the Tornado to secure that kill. Elon contesting Kafkask in the middle lane, though not quite sure he can with a Chronosphere available. Kafkask going to give the benefit of the doubt, though, and hang by his Tier 1 for the time being. And things will revert back to a slow pace as it's 8-16. Skadi doesn't know, falling way behind in the last couple of minutes as they drop 4K, close to 5K, giving a 3K advantage in net worth to Together We Did It. About 5K advantage to Together We Did It in experience, and, well, it's only going further and further south now. Maybe they turn it around with this. They're trying to go ahead and find a kill onto Kafkask. Elon going to die for this one, but doesn't get the Searing Chains off because his Sleight of Fist didn't come now. Korean Barbecue going to back himself off, but there will be a Chronosphere onto Elon. In comes KGB, in comes Taku, and out goes Elon back towards the middle lane and back towards safety. That's what you get for having Remnants up. Era will die to Invoker in his own jungle, because Invoker will do that. Ghost Walk into Orchid. Pretty much able to kill anyone at this point in the game. So taking a quick look at the net worth as we remain here. Invoker, top spot without a doubt. But Elon, keeping it close by at second place, though he's followed again closely by Kafkask, as G's trying to again imperialize this time the enemy jungle. Looking to just farm this one up. He's very aggressive, though. He's died a couple of times in this, and it might not stop now as Taku and Snoopy make their way. They don't quite have vision. In fact, he's got more vision than they do, but
you know the drill.
I think they realize that with a gem can easily deward some of these aggressive observers, and that's the problem with Together We Did It warding right now, is that Sky doesn't know the other way around. No, yeah, Sky doesn't know has himself a gem. Yeah, no, the other way around. God damn. Korean Barbecue losing all of his mana to the EMP. Earth Splitter flies out. Should be able to clean up KJB here, and it will. Elon taking an Ancient Seal. Snoopy will drop to Korean Barbecue, and now Noobs are us the target. They will all go down a 3-0 for Skadi doesn't know, as they grab themselves a little bit more retribution in this game. We see giving themselves a nice 2.5k gold swing, 3.8k experience swing. So very nice. Will bring themselves closer to equilibrium, but not quite enough to top the 5k advantage that I believe was had by Together We Did It. We'll start to put some embers in the cauldron.
Trying to bust down Radiant structures now. Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
As very Kafkask finds himself on Tier 2 tower.
Radiant
just alone, no big deal.
Towers.
It's what Faceless Voids do, right? Just split push. He's going for Maelstrom, by the way, so he should have some extra push power. As finally, Broodmother finishes up her Orchid quite a bit later than the Invoker. Could be attributed to the 5 deaths that he has right now. I mean, this unsafe farming that he's doing is the only way he can find farm. Is his own jungle needs to be taken by his own team. And Together We Did It are grouping themselves up, massing, looking for the Broodmother as they put up an aggressive, or more defensive than not, Observer Ward. But it's enough to spot out Broodmother if at all points in time. Now they're looking for her. Do they have a gem? Noobs doesn't have it yet. Who's got it? Taku's got it. And they'll pop a smoke and won't see him. They may continue to look for him as he pops ducks past the creep wave.
Radiant's
Has a
mid tower's
teleportation
getting
scroll, so
banged
as
up.
soon as he cuts this, he will teleport himself out, most likely. But the pings come out. He's got to do so right now, and he will. Kind of baiting out, walking one way, and then walks another. Maybe he walks right into Taku. They see him, and they will get the Chronosphere off, and this is another death for the Broodmother. Unfortunate pathing that he chose right there, but it's what happens is the life of a Broodmother when they buy such an early gem of True Sight. Astral Spirit will try to keep the creep wave back a little bit, but won't do nearly enough. A Stomp comes out, stopping Taku in his tracks, but still not quite enough. Magic Missile flies onto its very Kafkaesque. Now they look for more. Earth Splitter comes out, and it will connect on the Taku and Noobs or Us. Well placed, but EMP Tornado onto Elon and Illust. Era as well getting hit by the magic, the mana reduction, and he'll get Orchided up, taking a little bit of extra damage from that, but ultimately no one's died yet. But together we did it. The one that's in better shape to continue this push. Ice Path flies into Korean Barbecue, but the Liquid Fire misses. Now we see Broodmother making her way back in. G's looking to try to make this a team fight. Stifling Dagger onto KGB. Chronosphere not up for 50 seconds, so they clean up KGB almost immediately. Another Tornado EMP. Korean Barbecue trying to turn around and fight, but Noobs Arrest is there. Mystic Flare down onto him, and with the Orchid damage, he'll go down. Meanwhile, Skadi made cleans up G's, and Elon, not long for this world. He's got no way out, and he will go down a 4-for-1 as Era. The one that was low at the start of that team fight will be low at the end, but the only one to get away with his life. So another swing, this time flying the other way and substantially more. I'm afraid to look at the golden XP graph after that. It was actually relatively close to even, but Sky doesn't know, just taking a poor fight, not respecting the Tornado EMP. Looking at some of the items coming out, Elon is getting close to his Battle Fury, which is a glimmer of hope for this team. Yeah, 300 away from it at one point, but now he's only got 500 gold, so he's got 700 to farm up before he can have that up and running. Illust still looking about the same as he did. Helm of the Dom finished on Korean Barbecue, looking for that BKB. Era, Chainmail and a Sage's Mask going to grab a Medallion of Courage. And Orchid, again, still only item really for G's. Meanwhile, Taku's got the Yule Scepter ready to go, still got the gem. It's very Kafkaesque, sitting on a Mask of Madness. Maelstrom finally finished that one up. Two Arcane Boots done. KGB and Snoopy both holding one. Snoopy got a Staff of Wizardry, maybe looking for a Rod of Atos. Tornado EMP, by the way, on a Korean Barbecue, and an Orchid. Just a little bit of damage going to be coming out from that one, nothing substantial. Noobs, speaking of which, has the Orchid Malevolence and a Maelstrom of his own, so lots of Chain Lightning will be flying out and about all over the place. So right now, I think Sky doesn't know. They really have to find themselves a couple of pickoffs. And speaking of, Elon will get picked off by Kafkaesque and Snoopy, and exactly what they don't want to happen. So, yeah, he would have had his Battle Fury, and now it's delayed even further. Back down to 500 gold. He's actually negative in his gold progression as Korean Barbecue. Gets spotted out by Noobs Arrest, knows that he's close by, but instead Noobs going to find Era. A Silence comes out, EMP, the one to secure the kill. 3-man Stomp, but not able to do anything with it. The position wasn't there to try to go for a splitter, nor were the heroes there. And they'll just say, okay, we slept them. That's pretty much the majority of what we can do right now. Is together we did it, taking advantage of their early mid-game lineup and the advantage they grabbed from the laning stage, and just pushing with it. All 3 tier 1s about to drop for the Sky doesn't know. They've already lost to tier 2. And now Bloodlust and Otaku, they look for more. Maybe they go for the tier 2 tower here as they drop the first Liquid Fire. Yeah, this tier 2 tower should drop relatively quickly. They dropped the Macro Pyre on the creep wave, so it's just going to get completely bullied by Together We Did It. And meanwhile, Jeeves going to drop Noobs or Us. Kind of a surprising kill if you put a little bit of thought to that, but it just means that the tier 2 tower mid is being defended. looking out and about the map right now. Kill score is 13 to 24, and it definitely feels like it. As Together We Did It, just pulling themselves further and further ahead. Now we've got to smoke up onto KGB, and he'll be looking to make like the KGB and find themselves an assassination. Meanwhile, Taku, with a haste room, looks for Jeeves, finds Jeeves, Yule Scepter into the air, and with a nice path to keep him from retreating, he drops out an Orchid, but his attack speed is pretty bad. He uses the Insatiable Hunger, but not going to help him as Taku finds the kill. And another pickoff going the way of going the way of Together We Did It. As they pretty much get a one-for-one trade there, vengeance and retribution for their own Invoker. And really, I think SDK are just taking it back to play the farming game. Finally, the Battle Fury is done. On to Elon, 26 minutes, Phase Drums Battle Fury. Probably on the lower end of the timing windows, but not really out of it to the point where the win rate's incredibly low. Although it's kind of hard when you talk about Ember Spear's Battle Fury win rate, because not only does it pick up multiple Battle Furies at some points in the game, but he also might prioritize other items over that, so you can't really pin that down. Though I imagine if the first item Battle Fury was counted, then a 26-minute one would have a fairly bad, though not terrible, win rate. Aegis of Immortality will go the way of Together We Did It, being picked up by Kafkask as they go for some dewarding, because of course they've got this gem. And well, I don't know what else to say. Just farming it up across the map. BKB has been finished on Korean barbecue. So, gives them a little bit of extra space to work with. We talked about in the draft how they might need the they might need some sort of magic immunity, preferably out of something like an Omni Knight, though they didn't exactly go for that one. But Korean barbecue is going to have to find another item pretty soon, because 535 damage for a crit, although looks like it's a lot, for a PA is not that great. So Taku gets away from the initiation of Elon. It looked like Jeeves wanted in on that one, but Snoopy is there waiting to go. They're looking, they're hunting. Can they find anything, though? Taku spots out the Spiderling, so he knows the approximate location of Jeeves. Though can't quite find it just yet. They need some way to get vision in these trees. And now Jeeves will actually reveal himself. They don't know he's there. Taku comes in, Yule Scepter into the ice path. Meanwhile, action happening in the mid lane. Kafkask almost gets hit by the Split Earth. Jeeves will go down the top lane. Meanwhile, mid, they're looking for Kafkask. He still has an Aegis of Immortality. BKB almost out for Korean barbecue, but he finds KGB in the meantime. Bloodlust goes out. Orchid now, Korean barbecue in a lot of trouble. Disarmed by the Deafening Blast. Now they set him up with Ignite and Korean barbecue. No way out, maybe not. The Searing Chain's out into Noob Zoras. He jumps back in. Kind of surprising. He tried to hope for that helm with the Dominator to bring him back up to full, but he cannot rely on that one, at least not yet. Elon now turning around, or getting turned on by Kafkask, and now he's in a lot of trouble. No way to Remnant out. Bash, 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 dead. Era trying to find something here, but in comes Taki with that Blink Dagger. The Yule Scepter ready to go if they need it, but they don't. And a 5-man wipe for Together We Did It. As they go ahead, they clean up 30 minutes in the game. The score is 14-31. And they're not going to push towers off this just yet. Kafkask, though, hanging close. He bought himself, oh God, he's got an MKB. 29 minutes, Mom Maelstrom MKB. 30 seconds before his Chrono Streamer's up, and when that comes up, it's going to be hell to pay for Skadi doesn't know. A lot of offensive warding, by the way, coming out. 4 wards inside the enemy's base. Guy doesn't know, has literally no chance of sneaking up on Together We Did It based on that. So one of them will go down, but still this one pretty much covers it.
Radiant's gone and fortified their structures.
So the top, or the mid-tier 2 tower should end up dropping very soon. The liquid fire, bringing it down pretty quickly. The top tier 2, we'll see some harass later on, I imagine, but for now it's relatively healthy. As yeah, mid-tier 2 does end up dropping. Net worth, really scary if you're on Sky Doesn't Know, but you're quite happy with it if you're on the other team. The net worth, 14,000. An advantage of Together We Did It. 20,000 experience in their advantage. So I can take a look at hero levels. I know I don't have a bind for that one, but we look And yeah, it's pretty scary. Level 18 on this Chikiro, because he's been finding kills left, right, and center. Quite literally left, right, and center. So some pretty good stuff coming out from this Chikiro. They're getting everything out of this that they wanted. As Faceless Void will clean up Illust. No real way to get a return kill on that one as they turn around Fire Blast on the Jeeves. Now a Chronosphere secures the kill onto him. Era hanging close, but could be the downfall of him. As they're hanging close, and just like we said, this top tier 2, not long for this world.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
And I'm pretty sure we could break the base pretty soon.
The Radiant got one last top tower.
So I've gotten a correction, by the way. It's Kafka-esque. Kafka-esque. God, that's going to be really annoying. Good thing this is the best of one. Because after this game's over, I don't have to say it for at least another week. Or maybe a couple. Yeah, at least another week. So we're good. Man, that is incredibly annoying. Either way, creeps will make their way up onto the high ground, looking for the tier 3. As the Sleight of Fist flies out. And just putting up some damage on the high ground. We see an Ice Path and a Macro Pyre. KGB might get cleaned up, but a Yules and a Tornado trying to keep things under control. Korean Barbecue getting bashed to the smithereens with that MKB. Earth Split comes out, but doesn't do anything. Noobs are looking for Era, but he's in a very bad position spot here. He could drop the damage over time, but doesn't. Now Era, speaking of damage over time, will go down. Taku to grab that kill. 2 for 2, actually now a 2 for 3. Together we did it. Losing their Skywrath Mage on the high ground over here. It's G's the one for that one. Kafka-esque, sorry. Does still have a Chronosphere ready to go if they cancel his teleport, but they don't, so he gets out alive. As does our top of the net worth, or not top of the net worth, but top of the experience. Taku gets himself out alive. 2K gold. On top of his current kit, second highest in net worth, and 5th highest of all time. Oh man, some crazy, crazy stuff coming out from this Chikiro. Again, getting everything they want. 6.82, sorry. Of all time in 6.82. That makes any sense. It doesn't, but let me have my moment here. Jeez, in the meantime, walking over terrain like it's nothing, but his impact in this game just hasn't been felt throughout. You notice when all of the outer towers haven't gone down yet, the Broodmother's impact has been minimal. That her job is literally to push one lane so hard that your team can push the others. And I don't know, I don't think I've quite gotten a feel for how most teams like to use her nowadays, but I'm pretty sure she started playing it out correctly, getting a lot of aggressive play in the enemy jungle, but just wasn't able to maintain it as Together We Did It had her number with that early gem True Sight, and from there it just snowballed pretty much out of control. So we'll have to see where this game goes from now on. If anyone's just joining in, we've got Together We Did It versus Skadi Doesn't Know. Just a quick update on how this day rolls out. We got a game immediately after this between the Justice League, and I'm looking at it right now. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's at 9 o'clock EST. What I'm doing right now is just letting them know that we might be delayed a little bit on that one, since this game will probably go after 9.
Double damage.
Oh man, my hero follow didn't quite work there. So yeah, we might be delayed on the next game a little bit, but only for me. The players should be all ready. Kafka's diving in for that kill, and Kafka-esque. God damn it. I will get it eventually in this game. We still have a couple minutes left, I imagine. As they're going to push up to the high ground right now. And get some liquid fire damage on that tower. Roshan back up in approximately a minute, so they might just back off and grab that Rosh now, but for the time being, they'll just hang themselves out. Now going after the tower. A tornado went out fishing for something. Actually, it finds an arrow will go down. Korean barbecue as well. Oh, that's a disaster. There's a buyback on the ladder, but I don't think they want to spend it. They have to. Now Korean barbecue comes in looking for KGB. Gets force-staffed away, but he will not survive this. As Elon finds some extra damage. Snoopy getting away with his Ghost Scepter. But they'll back themselves off right quick as Roshan comes back into the fray. And they know that he's there. They'll go for it, find it. But it looks like Sky doesn't know. Do end up knowing. And they might try to go for the contest here, though. Not likely. And it looks like, sorry, the next game is Union Gaming versus Team Marino Meeperino. So, not the Justice League versus, the Justice League versus Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. Team Marino Meeperino versus Union Gaming will be coming up right after this.
Time is money.
Speaking of which, that was a long Macropyre, so that smells like an Aghanim Scepter coming out from Taku. So much net worth, he buys one of the least bought items in the game just to have a double-length Macropyre. And I would imagine at this point that their win rate for that item would be really, really skewed because it seems like a very luxury item. Faceless Void will find Era and Korean Barbecue and Illist and Elon. Ultra kill. Does he find a Rampage? They're going to give it to him. They're looking for the Rampage. He doesn't get it. No. KGB finds it at the last second. 0 buybacks, so all they have to do is push a lane, break the high ground, and they should grab an easy kill off the back of this one. So we'll see. They're pushing down mid right now, looking to try to finish this game. Yeah. Stealing the Rampage, definitely not cool. I feel like Kafkaesque really wanted that one, but oh well. Not every player can get a Rampage. As a tier 3 should drop, they pop a glyph, but 30 seconds on all of their cores means that the chances that they'll defend this racks and the bottom racks and the top racks are relatively slim. Actually, one might stay alive. KGB gonna get hit by the Earth Splitter, but nothing more than that. Mystic Flare comes down and cleans up Illist, and that's another cooldown for their death timers. And 2 racks gone. Bottom racks. The bottom 33 tower takes a little bit of damage, but if you talk about hard to come back from, there's that. And I don't think Team Together We Did It even needs to back off right now. I believe they still have the Aegis. Who is it on? It's... Did they even get Roshan? They didn't. No, they never actually took him, so... They're just doing this without Aegis. Don't even think they need it. Back themselves off, but they're going to go maybe... Okay, now they go for Roshan. This makes a little bit more sense. So far, Sky doesn't know. Their base still stands, though not for very much longer, as with this Aegis, I imagine the death push follows suit. And Roshan actually is not lasting long at all. With the minus armor hitting him. Actually, I don't know if the minus armor from the Forge Spirits actually does anything to him, but regardless, he will drop really quickly. Aegis going the way of our lovely Faceless Void player. And oh man, luxury items galore on this Jakiro. He's quickly become the position 1 carry. Though I still put that on the Faceless Void. Okay, position 2 carry, because he's higher net worth than the Invoker right now. That's really crazy. Coming out from an off-laning Jakiro that fed, what was it? 3 kills? Oh no, sorry. He got 3 kills from the Brood, then fed a couple to the Brood, and then got more with the pickup of the gem. So the push in to the bottom tier 3. They're going in, looking for more. And now a fishing tornado, the Chronosphere popping only on Elon, but it's enough to say, okay, not enough to kill him. Era will swap him out, but Era might pay for this one. KGB goes in, or gets gone by Korean, but Korean Barbecue taking more damage than he can handle, trying to blink away. And it's very Kafkaesque, looking for more. He finds Elon, not able to grab the kill just yet, but will come back with a reincarnation. Spiders actually spawn on his death initially, but don't really do too much. He gets slowed down, turns around, and again, just goes into spiders. He's not really afraid of the damage coming out to him just yet, though he might start to have to be because it's starting to stack up. No more Aegis of Immortality onto him, but now they go for the racks. And, well, they don't. Meanwhile, KGB will find Broodmother. A-List will grab Snoopy. And Harlon, looking for Kafkaesque, will grab a Taku as well to go down. Maybe, maybe not. Yes, he will. And Gem of True Sight finally hits the decks. Elon will drop A-List, getting himself a triple kill. But holy hell. A-List is so rich. 4,800 gold he's sitting on top of that after that fight. He will go down. Taku will bring him down. But this is a die back from Taku. And he'll just straight up die here. He's looking to survive as long as... What the hell? Okay, he got the gem off of A-List. Gets the gem back. Sunstrike off the mark. Oh man, what is this game? Well, it looks like Skadi doesn't know his base is defended for the time being. Didn't think that would happen, but we're looking at it dead in the face. 23 to 49. Together we did it. Maintaining double of Skadi doesn't know's lineup. Hashtag defended. The Golden XP with outside of 30,000 in both respects, actually just coming within it. And together we did it. Those engagements felt more like, I don't really care about this game anymore. We already won. But they do have to be careful. 30k is not unheard of to come back from, though 30k with 3 tier 2 towers, maybe a little bit more so. In fact, I'm pretty willing to bet that there is some win rate that's got to be over 90, 95% for Together We Did It standing right now. And they're just going to go ahead and farm themselves up as KGB on the high ground turns into Jeeves. He cannot go onto the high ground because he gets stunned up by a little bit of damage, but now he's able to make that voyage, and just as soon as he gets up, KGB gets down. Oh, man. They're looking for every little bit they can get out of this game, but they just can't find it. All right, so just passive. Can't believe things are going as passive as they are given the start. Yeah, I'm speechless. I really am. It's that kind of game where you know it's over. You can't exactly talk about what the other team can do to come back from this. And it just speaks for itself right now. So I'm waiting for something to break out so I can start talking fast and loud and all hyped up. And finally, maybe we see something. Jeeves gets surrounded. Don't know he's there. They end up looking somewhere else. So he dodges a bullet. And now they turn, find Elon, Mystic Flare, not able to connect for more than just a split second. And, yeah, just continuously sieging this bottom lane. Jeeves is still way out there. Kind of chilling, doing what spiders do, I guess. Waiting to trap his target. So now they make their push into the high ground. KGB will go up with a Fire Blast. Gets some 2x multicast on the Unrefined. They aren't able to bring him out just yet, but a Chronosphere flies out. They will get Era as well. And that has got to be GG. Kafkaesque will find Phantom Barbecue. There is a buyback available, but I don't think he can do anything with it. And the racks Well, the rats are as good as dead.
Have fun trying to
They
bust
still
down
glyph.
radiant structures
They're
now.
still waiting as long as possible because they know that Elon has some damage.
Radiant's bottom
But with
racks,
Broodmother dying
Radiant's
and the
bottom
racks
racks,
finally
they make it.
going down in their entirety,
Radiant's bottom rack.
this game
Dire's got a case
is
of the
pretty much
bacon
over.
creeps.
Mules, Ice Path, dead. GG. Finally, we're good. So only really quick am I going to hang out in the end game stats here because
Chalk
really
it up for
there is
Dire.
not much to talk about. We already covered pretty much everything in those, 10 minutes that the game should have been over already. And I got to get to the next game and host that one up. So really quickly, I'm Chicago Ted, at TedCast on Twitter, at CartDota for our statsman for the day. We'll be back in a very short amount of time. Stick around, more CEVO coming up next.